Pretty special shop walk today. We have 3 really cool Hondas that just happened to finish at the exact same time. Well, almost finished, I think.
Yeah, almost.
Alex is almost there, right?
Yeah.
All right, first and foremost, this is an NC35, also known as an RVF 400. It's been in a lift
A bunch of times.
let's call it 4 or 5 times, thereabouts.
Yep.
Just getting the jetting just right. We do not have a dyno, and so in order to get the bike perfectly tuned, you'd have a dyno. We get as close as we can with test rides. It's not the most efficient way of doing it.
Dyno.
Dyno, but dyno. There you go. All right, so let's hear this one go. RVF 400, like I said, really cool. TSR exhaust. Can we hear the horn work? There we go. So it's going to the auction site pretty soon. Let me hit it real quick. This is the baby brother of the RC45. I talk about these bikes all the time, but this one's got a cool exhaust on it. That's good. Sounds good. Take a throttle really well. Next up, we'll skip ahead. We're going to come back to Ollie's in a minute because Ollie is still finishing up. What? Oh, never mind. There we go. Okay, so this one's special. This is an NSR250 SP. So the difference between the SP and a standard bike is MagTech wheels. Usually they're gold, but this one's been powder coated white. It also has more adjustments in the suspension, right, Ollie? Mm-hmm. And a dry clutch, which makes it super special.
Close ratio gearbox.
And a close ratio gearbox. I'm interpreting for Ollie today. You hear that really cool sound from the 2-stroke, obviously 2-stroke 250. I rev it a little bit, took it for a test ride. These things are still kind of warm. So where it gets really cool, that is what everyone wants to hear. Look at Ollie hitting lights up a little bit. Sorry, Steve. Got your beat on the sound, but it's pretty sick. You look at that, you can see the green cover there. It's like a yellow color, but there's one more time. Lots of noises. Work. So this one's going on the auction site pretty soon. It's a Pentex Livery, which is one of my favorite. Pentex is the camera company, right?
Camera company.
So there's a Rothman, there's a Pentex.
Cabin and HRC.
There you go. So 4 different styles. This is one of my favorite.
Repsol 28.
What's that?
A Repsol.
And a Repsol as well. There you go. The thing about this bike is it only has 900 and something kilometers, and you always have to kind of be a little skeptical on that. We went through it, we checked it. It probably had oxidation issues. That's why it's got some paint work done. These number plates are supposed to be yellow. You can kind of see the yellow underneath the white here. So someone overdid that just to redo it. These side panels, everything is stock. And you can tell the colors are pretty consistent, but there's a little bit of a color discrepancy between this and this. And what you're doing is if you're looking for bikes and you're looking for originality of bikes, there's usually logos inside, like part numbers, right?
Yeah, part numbers and date codes.
So we've got part numbers and date codes on this. This is obviously a factory tank. The tail section is also a factory part, but these are likely Chinese. And as much as that turns a lot of people off, they're a lot better than they used to be, right, Ollie?
Yeah.
They fit pretty clear. They're not a perfect fit, but they're quite close. And that's all we have. So it's a super low mile bike. We've got pictures of when it was in Japan, and the owner had basically had it on stands. The wheels were initially magnesium exposed, and so he probably powder coated them white because they were oxidized.
Possibly, yeah.
And the exhaust, the same thing. Like these aren't supposed to be white, but he likely did that because the aluminum was oxidized. And so anyway, it's a really great example. It's not pristine. It's not a collector quality with the fact that it's been semi-restored, but
It's a good rider.
it's a phenomenal rider. And he took it for a test ride. And what was I think you said it was brilliant, right?
But if you could only have one bike, you want one of these.
There you go. You only have one bike, and you didn't have a bunch of passengers or a long commute, and 2-strokes were readily available. And no, just kidding. And over here, we're gonna finish up with Alex. So Alex is on a VF 1000R. This is an early one. I believe it's an 84. It's an 84. So there was one year in particular, and I'm not an expert on these, but I know a bit about them, but I'm not an expert on them. And they had the double. Actually, you know what? Here we go. It is a 80. God, my vision's shot. Tell me what that says when you get a chance, would you?
Yeah,
I'm just selling myself short. It's going to go Pentex. So the cool thing about this particular one is it's not perfect. It's going to be a great rider for someone or a project if someone wants to restore one because it's priced really well. What do you say?
85.
85. So it's 1985. The cool thing about this year, though, Harrison, if you take a look at this, it's got the double headlight lens. So it's a single lens, but it's got double bulbs, and it's super sought after. The one before this had like vents here, and the headlight went down a little further. This is my favorite. We sold a 0 mile one recently, and it went to the Netherlands. We just packed that one up, right? You dropped it off at the port yourself, didn't you?
I think Lalo took on that task.
There you go. All right, anyway, moving on. Let's hear this thing. He's got it on the bottle because we still have an issue with the tank we got to fix. Only 7,900 miles. You gonna start it? You want to do the honors? So Alex, so what you got? Obviously not a stock exhaust. They don't always sound like that. Your community exhaust. Still a little cold. Great throttle response. Nice job on the carbs. Very good. You know, a really quick story, a little side note about Alex here. Alex came to us from Beverly Hills, Ducati with a couple of other guys and had minimal carb work experience.
That's fair to say.
But now that he's been here for a while, working with all the guys,
Yep, and
Daniel's been helping you a lot.
Daniel and Steve Rapp let me cut my teeth on his first.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did one of these for Steve Rapp. Steve Rapp is a buddy of mine. If you don't know him, he won Daytona at some point. Still has a record over at Willow Springs. An incredibly fast rider and a really cool guy. But he wanted a mint one, so we got him one with like 800 some miles.
Yeah.
Alex here, like I said, cut his teeth on that one. So anyway, nice job. Thank you, sir. That's all we got today.